Hi, everybody. I'm Melinda Gallant, and I want to welcome you today to another Cape Conversations. Yes, I've got my fuzzy slippers on, and I'm sitting here, right here, in my living room. However, I've got a great person today on with me, and I hope you'll take a look-see. She knows everything there is to know about business and sandwich. So come along, let's have another Cape Conversations. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be sitting here today with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And it's the Fuzzy Edition episode of Cape Conversations, pandemic style. Denise Dever, Executive Director, Chairman, President, Head Poopah of the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce. Denise,
that all sounds wonderful. Good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So what is your title?
So my title is Executive Director of the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Not to be confused with president. Who's the president? I don't even know.
There isn't a president, actually. I think it's just whatever. All these nonprofits, it's the way the bylaws are written and how they decided to determine what the position was going to be called.
Okay, but you do have somebody who runs the board of directors.
So and that's called the chairman.
Oh, okay.
So we have the board of directors is a chairman, vice chairman, treasurer, secretary, and then the rest of the board.
So who's on your executive committee? Anybody I would know?
So certainly executive, chairman Heidi Trottier of Mr. T's Auto. And our vice chair is Brandon Babiars of Marshland Restaurants and Bakery. And the secretary is Mark Snyder. And
my goodness. Finance committee.
Finance committee. And the treasurer is, this is kind of funny because he's not the treasurer, but the treasurer is Heidi Luciani from Eastern Bay.
I see.
We have a great board, a robust board. There's 18 people on the board.
Wow, so that's a big board.
Don't ask me to name them all. And
no, I won't, but you've got your hands full. Usually they don't want boards quite that large.
Yeah, it's a little big.
Yeah, I would think. Well, here we are in the time of pandemic. Oh my God, look, we're doing everything new, different. We are now at week 5, I think.
I think it's 6. I don't know. I've lost track of time.
Week 6 of being closed down. Okay, I think you're right. I think it is 6.
I think it's 6.
So what's going on? What's going on with you? Tell me, what are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's, so we closed the Welcome Center back, I think a week before the governor said, because we were having people stop by and I was actually away at the time and my assistant director, Stacy Hylinski, she's getting a little weirded out, people coming in and so we kind of made the decision then that we could work from home. We had all the tools that we needed. We both have robust PCs at home. We could log in, we could have everything. And, occasionally we certainly do run into the office because no one's there to write a check or pick up our mail, water the plants, the poor things are all by themselves. But we've, so we work from home and she and I have a chat every morning and we make a plan for the day. And it's been really busy. Which seems kind of strange. It's slow at this time of year anyway, with visitors popping in. So we would be doing the same thing. We're finishing off the guidebook, which is at the Creative Designer as we speak. And yes, we are publishing one. All the chambers are, with the hopes that we have our advertisers and listing all sorts of fun things to do. And we just hope those fun things to do are going to be available to do this summer.
Sure.
So we're working on that, and we're also working on a new website, which we hope to roll out soon, like within a week or so.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's been kind of fun actually, and a new membership database, which is done. And then the most important thing we've been doing really is reaching out to our members, and actually non-members as well. We publish an e-blast. We were doing it 3 times a week. We just started last week, knocking it down to 2 times a week, but it's filled with information we're receiving from the federal government, the state government, other chambers, local information about, how economic loans and unemployment, everything's just changing constantly. And it's really just pushing out as much information as we're getting. with links so that our businesses hopefully can, go through it and see what they need and click on the links and apply for help if they need it. And also the other part of that is promoting our businesses. We're really pushing to promote online and making sure that people are aware of who's open, who's closed. And most places really are open. I mean, they're just doing it differently. There are, restaurants are out of our retail businesses. If they're not open, they're open for online sales, pickup, delivery, delivery and that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's been busy doing that.
Well, I noticed Falmouth does this thing. They took, I think it's 6 business leaders in Falmouth, bigger town. They've been doing once every couple of weeks a kind of a business roundtable for the businesses in Falmouth, where we are, what's going on. Have you thought about doing something like that? It would seem that it would be helpful to your membership. It would also be a lot of work probably, and you'd have to get the right people.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the work. I think it's just, it's tough reaching out to some of these businesses. I've seen that roundtable, and many of them are sort of, they're
up here.
Up here, I was going to say, and not really working in their business. A lot of our business owners who I know are not sitting back allowing somebody else to work their business. I mean, they're killing themselves and they're working hard. And to take the time out to talk, I mean, it's not that they're not sharing with each other and reaching out to each other. Certainly, I'd be open to doing that, but I haven't actually heard anybody who wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But we are looking at now that maybe things are, I won't say easing up a little bit, but maybe there is a little more time to do something similar to that.
Well, it seems like to me that all of the local chambers, all 15 of them, are working in coordination with the Cape Cod Chamber, which you used to be on the board of, and now you are no longer because you're an executive director. How is that working? Is it working out well for you? Do you feel like the Cape Cod Chamber, as I'm still on the board, and I swear to God, every year I think I'm off, and now I'm back on.
Yeah, you're going to go off, right?
I don't know how it happens.
Right.
They keep putting me back on.
Right.
For no reason, I swear. But are you working with them and taking their information? I know Cape Cod 5 puts out information about business things like the PPP loans and the small SBA loans.
So that's a good example. You asked a couple of questions. But Cape Cod 5 is a member of the Sandwich Chamber also. Oh. So a lot of the chamber, they're probably a member of all the chambers. I don't know, but certainly Cape Cod Chamber. But anything that they get, we get as well. So we're sharing their information, not necessarily through Cape Cod Chamber. However, I will say Wendy Northcross, who's the director there, executive director,
President.
That's her title, I think it is.
No, it's president.
She's president. Okay. So she shares all her information with all of the chambers. And it's been great and very helpful. So we're working very collaboratively in the local chambers. We were meeting quarterly, but when this all happened, we decided to meet monthly, and we share information about, anything that can help each other about, everything from what are you doing about dues, do you bill for dues? We need our membership to support our chambers. What do you do about events coming up and business after hours and exchanging ideas? So that's been very helpful because we're all small. We're all a 1 or 2 person, some maybe have 3 operation. And so it really helps to feel like you're part of something bigger and at least can make some sound decisions or bounce things off people. So it's been great. And Wendy's been great. And it helped. I was on her board, so I feel like I can reach out to her for ideas, and anytime she's available. So that's helpful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, let's face it, my husband Joe hates the term "we're all in this together." He goes, it all depends on where you are in all of this, I think.
I know,
right. But really, we're all in the same sea, let's put it that way. And now how do we work together? Are you talking about reopening and what would that look like? And
so I've talked to Dave Mason, the town health department. I don't even know what his title is, but he's the director of
Yeah.
health director. He reached out last week, and we were, there. The town is working on what it looks like as well. And of course, everybody's waiting for the governor to tell us what that's going to look like. So it's sort of a trickle down effect. But he has, we've talked a little bit about what it looks like for restaurants. So I've reached out to a number of restaurants, and not surprisingly, they're already thinking about this, and they're already thinking about what that looks like, and waiting for what the state mandate might say first. But they're way ahead of us. They're thinking about what social distancing looks like inside, how many people can go inside, what it looks like outside, what they're going to do with their employees. Are there going to be logs and temperature logs and testing, and are there masks involved with their employees? So there's so many questions, but they're all anxious to open and willing to work with what they have to work with to get open. And the same goes for how people are going to feel going in. And that's what that's all about, is trying to make the public comfortable,
right.
To feel that the restaurant is going to be doing everything they can to keep their employees safe and the public safe when they're coming in. So that's one of the bigger things. I think in the retail world, certainly they're thinking about it. Might be a little bit easier because you can limit how many people can come in and maybe buy an item and then go out. But eating is a little different because you're there for a longer period of time. But everybody is thinking about it, and hopefully, going to be ready. And we have guidelines. I see it already coming down now. We're sending out something today, and it will be a guideline of what does reopening look like. And there's a seminar, an online seminar, I think it's Friday. And again, we'll push this out today. And SCORE is running it. SCORE is the local senior corps of retired executives here in Cape Cod. And they're very, very good at putting presentations together, and they'll have some expertise there. So it'll just give you some guidelines and a checklist and all that kind of stuff. So, and just to put a plug, anybody who wants to receive our e-blast, just go to sandwichchamber.com website, and down in the right-hand corner, it says sign up for our emails. And that would push out our monthly newsletter and any e-blast that we're sending out.
Great.
Mm-hmm. And this is for everybody. It's not just members, it's non-members as well. And obviously during this time, we're doing everything we can. Anybody who asks us to push out some information, we don't go, oh, no, you can't because you're not a member. We're saying, fine, you're on our list, you're on our restaurant list, you're on our retail list.
Right.
Because I hate to say it, we're all in this together. So we want, and honestly, and tell Joe I said that.
I will tell him.
Sandwich is a small town, and I'll tell you, I'm passionate about Sandwich. I love Sandwich. And so it really, at this point, it doesn't matter. We want everyone to stay open and not have, and it's going to be hard. So we care, and we want to do everything we can to try to make that happen.
No,
so that's the way we can support.
Well, that's very true. And we are an unusual town because we are steeped in our history. We were never a developed town, so we don't have a lot of commercial. And the commercial we have to keep because they contribute to the tax base in a big way.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And what would our village look like? I mean, people come here for so many things.
I know.
And they love our little town. It's not just about the history. They love to be able to stroll down to the village or stroll through Merchant Square or jump down and have all the, the eateries down and sell a sandwich and drive down 6A and visit, so it's so quaint, and it's, people really just love to support that. And we don't want to see anybody missing from that, from that.
Oh, of course not. No, of
course.
Game,
I guess.
So, okay. So tell us, Denise, how are you doing personally?
Personally, yeah, it's been interesting. I guess I've been doing fine. It's kind of surprising that I mean, you have your good days and your bad days. Mostly, I'm up. I'm grateful every day, and I don't want to be corny about it. Just thankful. I live in a nice place. I have a nice place to work and here. I have a job, and I love doing this job. And the fact that every once in a while I do get a little squirrely. I do go to go for a walk every day, if weather permitting, and can get in the car.
Good luck. Good luck
Yeah.
with weather permitting.
Well, the last 2 days have been a little rough.
Yeah,
But
no kidding.
today it looks like I could probably take a stroll,
Yeah.
listen to an audio book, and try to walk. I'm not necessarily a 10,000 stepper, but I do my best. Put it that way. My little Fitbit, helps me. It reminds me, get up and take a few more steps. So that's a good thing. Yeah, but personally, I have nothing to complain about, and I'll tell you, I just feel like I'm one of the lucky ones. So, it's hard out there. It's tough out there, and I have family members that are, on the front line, work at in Boston Medical Center and work out in various hospitals. And I'm worried. I worry about the kids. I have, a couple of nephews graduating from high school, a couple of nephews graduating from college, and a niece graduating from law school. And my hat goes out to them, as everybody. They're all in the same boat. They're not having their proms or their graduations or their school trips or their sports, et cetera, et cetera. It just goes on and on and on, and it's heartbreaking. But so I guess you just have to be thankful for what you have and try to support, those that don't. And
Well,
that's,
I think once we all got over the initial, oh my God, oh my God, the world has stopped, and it stopped. It stopped the 1st of March, basically, March, whatever it was, 10th, 11th, I don't know what it was, but it was somewhere around that time period. And it had started stopping before that, but we weren't impacted by it because nobody said,
that's right.
don't go out.
Right.
And don't go out if you're over the age of 50.
Right.
And of course, now we find out it affects also younger people as well. So I have a question. Do you recommend wearing a mask, and do you wear one?
I do. But I'm at that funky age. I don't want to say what that is, but that, like, right on the cusp of, yeah. And I think for me, it's safety for me, but everything I read about, it's safety for others, and as we know, for all, maybe I have it. I mean, I've only been in the grocery store twice in 6 weeks, which is sort of unbelievable. But and yesterday I was going to go. It had been 3 weeks, and I'm looking around, and I think I can go a little longer. It kind of freaks me out. But so I'm trying to be careful. But I guess the point is, we don't know if we've had it. We already had it. We're going to get it. We don't know. But anything that you can do, I think a mask is, it's minor. Except it steams up my glasses all the time. So I don't know I don't probably have the right. I made it out of a pajama top, believe it or not, with hair elastics. So I suppose I should, spend some money and buy an official, mask.
Well, here's a couple of things that I found out. If you wear glasses, I tend to wear my contacts when I walk but I did find out in Roach Brothers yesterday, with all the humidity from the rain and the heat in Roach Brothers, and there were quite a few people in there. Although I got to give Roach Brothers credit, it was as clean as a pin. They were wiping everything down. They had sanitizer at the front of the store as you passed, all that good stuff. Everybody wearing a mask, gloves, the whole 9 yards. But what I found out was my contacts actually fogged up at one point, and I had to pull my mask away, and that shows you how much hot air I think I have. So, but what I did find out is that if you wash your glasses in warm water, let them air dry, then just do whatever you do to your lenses, like with a special cloth if you have one of those.
Yeah.
It won't fog up when you put on your mask.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that tip. Appreciate that.
That's my tip of the
day.
When
I venture out to grocery store, yes, that's a good idea. And I wear one when I'm walking, but that I don't wear it all the time. But if I see people, and some people have them on and they get kind of freaked out, so I'll put it on if I'm passing them, even at a distance. Just makes everyone feel better.
Well, I actually have most people in Roach Brothers. Of course, there's a certain demographic with that grocery store and where it's located. But even all the store people had them on. I noticed that were primarily men who felt, I guess they were macho enough. They didn't care if they infected me or I infected them or whatever. And I think that to me is a little disconcerting. I think we should, if we're in this sea together, then let's try to take care of each other and just wear a mask. It doesn't take much.
No,
Or
it doesn't. I know.
they can look like
Right.
pirates.
It's hard. You try not to judge. There's got to be reasons, but really, again, they keep saying it's not about you. It's about
It's about
everyone
them.
else.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So, but they can
So,
look like pirates,
yeah.
or they could look like
Oh, they have.
men,
Yeah, they have
cowboys.
very cute ones out there. Dogs and
Yeah.
crazy stuff. I know.
So,
Exactly.
so where are you going to go from here? What happens with the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce? You're moving forward. You're putting out your book, which will be available, I suppose, in various locations.
Well, if we get in there, I mean, eventually they will be. Certainly, we'll have it out there before Memorial Day weekend, and we'll see what that looks like. I don't know. We have our own reopening to think about. What does the Welcome Center look like?
Right.
I mean, in all honesty, we don't usually have a slew of people all in there all at the same time. But on a Saturday or Sunday, if people were coming down, and again, that's the other thing. That the part that we don't know is, will people be coming to see us? And if they do, do we limit how many people come in and what the requirements are going to be? Because they're coming in all the time for information and where to go and what to do. And we also staff it with volunteers. So I need to reach out to my volunteers because many of them might not be comfortable working in that kind of environment at this point. So there's a lot of unknowns. And I think, for me, we're just taking it day by day. I'm not trying to predict what we're going to do. Our next big event is Sandwich Fest at the end of June. So we're certainly talking about that. So many of these events have been canceled on the Cape. Just heard Cape Cod Baseball League was canceled for the summer. You're in the arts field. I know all the art playhouses and, everything is canceled. Concerts are canceled. And so it's, again, not that people don't want to have these events. I'm getting calls saying, oh, everyone's going to be ready and everybody's going to want this. Well, yeah, I want it too. But if we're still practicing social distancing, how do we do that with a festival that has 2,000-3,000 people with vendors close together and so on and so forth? And is it fair to anyone? And so there's all those things to take into consideration. And that's a huge, this is our 12th year and it's a huge event. But we have to make the right decision for us, and it hasn't been made yet. But so there's a lot of every day we're talking about something and what this looks like. But again, a lot of unknowns. So until we know what's going to happen, we're taking our lead, seeing what the governor is saying, and then kind of going down that path. Because even if we want to do it, we may not be able to do it. So we have to wait and see.
Right.
And, Stacy and we're cutting back a little bit, because again, we're cutting down on expenses. We're looking at our numbers. We're cutting back on our hours. Want to keep our jobs. And so, we're doing everything that we can to keep the chamber in place and solvent, because we think we add value to the town of Sandwich, and we think we add value to the businesses, and they need us, and they will need us to help them. So
excellent.
Here we go.
Well, let's face it, we're all hanging in, floating in this sea with our life jackets on. So that's
absolutely
all at this point.
Exactly. What do they say? Swim in the tide against the whatever. I don't know. There's all these like little sayings, but yes, it's not easy. But none of us have had practice with this. None of us have ever been through something like this, or as long as There's certainly been some horrible events in our lifetime, but nothing that is extended out like this. Yeah.
No, and nothing that is so scary, I think. Even when you hear about young people who recover from it, who talk about how horrible it was to be so sick when you get a full case of it. And then
that's right.
Those people who,
that's right.
My daughter, her nannies, she had an older nanny, a lovely woman who became part of their family, really. Both of her parents died, and they can't have a funeral. She couldn't go to them. And they were in their late or mid 80s, I guess. And I mean, how this is beyond tragic. So again, I say to those macho men out there not wearing masks, think about things like that. That's who you're affecting. So It's a
I
small
know. I don't
thing.
know if you can ever drive that home, but I know. I hope we get through it, and I worry about what that looks like, and then what do we have a second wave coming? So much of this is just projection,
Right.
but
Well,
we have to deal with it, and we have to,
yeah. Well,
the best way we can.
I know, and it's numbers and statistics. But on a happier note, they've got you as executive director. Yahoo! Life is good for you. You're hanging in. So
Mhm.
if anybody wanted to
Mhm.
contact you about becoming a member, that would be fabulous. Or have any
Oh,
questions,
of course.
they could do that through the website.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, the website, if they signed up for our newsletters and our
Okay.
e-blast, right up front and center, I write a little something, something, and then right there, I have on there my cell phone number as well as Stacy Hylinski, who's my assistant director. So
Right.
it's basically call us anytime. But we have a info@sandwichchamber.com email box that we respond to every single day. So
Okay.
it's info@Sandwich Chamber with any kind of question. We'll call you, whatever. I mean, I got a call on my cell phone. So I know people are paying attention. This cute lady, not necessarily member driven, just someone and lives in Sandwich, wanting to know where she could get someone to fax something for her. So it was, and I mean, I love that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
people call and it's like, I love to solve problems and I love to help people.
Right.
So, it was just, and I said, absolutely, let me make a call for you. I'll find out, if they're open and this is what
Right.
they're doing. And so I did and called her back and she was just, so we get some crazy requests that aren't necessarily chamber driven, but we're here to help and we're here to sort of guide people where to go,
Right.
and send them to the town if we need to or wherever. So, so that's how you get in touch with us.
Excellent. Well, Denise, it went by quickly. We're done.
I guess so.
Oh my God,
okay.
we've said it all.
Oh my God.
All right, listen.
Right.
Have a great happy hour. It's almost, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere and it's almost Friday. It's Tuesday, right? So that's almost.
I'm trying to slow that down. I'm trying to slow that down a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
It
Well,
could get a
listen,
little crazy, right?
it is, well, it does get a little crazy. Denise Dever, Executive Director of the Sandwich Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for spending time with me
Thank
today.
you, Melinda.
All righty.
Okay, thanks. See you soon, I hope.
See
All
you
right, take
soon.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Denise Dever, oh my gosh, she's so much fun and a delight to know for sure. And I tell you, she knows a lot about business here in Sandwich. So if you have any questions, send them to her, info@sandwichchamber.org. I want to thank you again for being with me today in these difficult times. And by the way, for those people who don't think it's necessary, put your mask on. That's what I do when I go out. Look how attractive I look. Fabulous. See you next time on another Cape Conversation.